Hi guys. So this is my fourth time trying to record this, but I'm basically just gonna react to what the WCA said, and I'm gonna say my personal opinion on it. Which is basically they announced that they're gonna add FTO, but then they're gonna take away clock as an event. So here are my thoughts. First of all, I have never liked clock. I actually stopped competing in it recently because it wasn't pleasurable to me personally. Okay. But I know that lots of people like it. It's a very popular event and it's grown its place in the community, which is why I don't understand why they took it away. And I think it's very warranted, being sad about it and being mad at the WCA. But I don't know if they're gonna add it back, because the WCA, I don't know, it's a complex organization. I don't know if it can be added back, but if you haven't signed the petition, you should sign the petition just in case, because it's possible. Also, the backlash would be pretty helpful in the WCA to motivate them to change the decision, I guess. But yeah, I just don't understand what good this does, because it just divides the community and it kind of makes everyone sad. And what's the point of removing an event if people like it? If some people like it, I mean some people don't like it, but why should they care if it's there if they're not competing in it? Anyway, but I think yeah, it's a weird decision. And my thoughts were, when I first heard this, is why did they choose to remove it? Because I understand that the WCA is acting because they think that it's a hard event to manage, hard to put in the separate cube covers and scramble. But the scrambling is just as hard as any other puzzle. In fact, it's easier than some of them, like Mega Minx and things like that. But also, it's just not, those aren't really good excuses to do it, to remove it. And what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I was thinking, because in that form, the community event survey or whatever, first of all, clock was not even the one that people wanted out. It wasn't the most wanted one. I think it was 5 blind or something, or something of that nature. Maybe it was multi-blind. But essentially, in that survey, there was also a thing where it was you could make lower tier events, or have them at separate majors, or you could have them have their own competition, sort of, or you could just lower their status. And I think any of those options would be better than just blatantly removing it. That just doesn't make sense to me. And yeah, I mean, they could if it had its separate competition, like Clock Comp, then who would that anger? Because they could just go to a separate comp. Maybe they'd be mad about it, but I mean, they still have it as an event. Or they could just have it at normal comps and with less frequency. It's already pretty low frequency. I mean, or of course they could have it as separate majors. They could even add a separate subset of events, kind of like how blind events in FMC are considered separate from the end-by-ends and the twisty puzzles. So they could add clock puzzles, and then those puzzles are 2D dial turning puzzles. And they could add 2x2 clock, 4x4 clock. They could add a bunch of stuff. But instead they choose to just remove it, and that just kind of makes everyone angry, and I don't respect that. And then as for FTO being added, I'm kind of excited for this. You know, I've started solving it, and it's a good event. I think it's very fun. It's kind of like minxes mixed with like big cubes, it's like n by n's, and you know, the center building. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like Yao or something. But it's pretty cool. Yeah. I'm very excited for it, but I don't understand why, if they give us one benefit, they have to take away something. That feels kind of bad, you know? Like if they give us a gift, they have to punish us for it. So though I think it's slightly unlikely that they'll revoke this decision anytime soon, it is possible next year maybe. If the backlash gets too much for them to hold, maybe they will. I mean, it's just like, it's something that's completely up to them, and I don't know how I feel about that, you know, because like, if there's one organization who controls what we compete in, how does that make sense? Because they're supposed to represent us, and we didn't want this, so I think we shouldn't let it happen. So yeah, bring clock back, save clock, free clock. I'll put all the hashtags in the description. I'm sorry this video came out late. I just really bad at recording it, and I'm really lazy too. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry to clockers out there. We will try to get your event back.